You do have that blank stare where she's like, oh yeah, you're like, thank you. Thanks for having me. Almost with the next. I had that blank stare in my mind.
Your mind does do that. Like,
It just blanks out.
Even though you know who you are.
And it's like, how can I not tell you?
See, and that's just reading.
Right. That's what you get nervous. You have that blank. It's not like, oh, well, what was I supposed to say about my parents? Thank you.
Trip and fall.
Yeah, me too.
Those, right? I have not seen the same pair every day since you started.
Oh, really?
What had happened? Yeah. Like, the stores call me for sure.
I know. Probably give you great
I
deals.
have a great relationship with this shop.
So I wanted to make a connection. Yeah, she's the new senior HR. And
Why you don't have her on the spot?
I just
Oh,
wanted
see, that's not right.
to
She should be up here too.
Why don't we just rotate everybody through?
I had a couple phone meetings with her already, so I wanted to have a phone meeting.
Oh gosh. The pressure.
That's not what they said. She said, I'm happy to have you be there.
I thought this doesn't feel like support, it feels like pressure.
How are you? Oh, I just went. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm glad you're here.
Just wait till we turn on the fire a little more.
Right, exactly.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Joyce, you look fabulous. See, I didn't even know it was ringing. So.
So did you guys help people move in?
Yeah, we did.
There you go.
Yeah, I changed. Well, I still
But I didn't bring any other shoes, right? So of course I have sneakers on. Yeah. Awesome.
So actually,
I know, it's like, where did you?
see you. Help people move into their dorms.
That's nice. Well, you both look very nice. No, really. You know, if the camera just.
Right, as long as the camera doesn't
like go below the knees, right?
no one get too
Right, exactly.
Hi, everybody. Is this on? No.
Well, maybe it's just because I'm sitting right here.
Oh, does it sound like it's on?
Is this on? Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's not on? Now it is. Okay.
Are we good? Okay.
We're ready? everybody, and welcome to our third all-staff meeting of 2017. I'm City Manager Jane Brodigam, and with me is Deputy City Manager Tanya Anji.
Hello, everyone. Today you're going to see some familiar faces and also some new ones. We're going to be taking some time to focus on employee engagement survey, our focus on diversity and inclusion, and highlight our 2018 benefits and well-being program.
We also have a lot of good videos today to show you, especially our On the Job segment, which everyone loves. That's back, yay. And we'll close the meeting with a shout out to a team across our organization that's really shown the value of collaboration. But first, I'm actually going to start off by talking about a couple of things that are kind of in the news around the city right now, and those would be the city budget and the upcoming municipal election in November. So first, the budget. The city manager's 2018 recommended budget goes to City Council at the end of next week, and they will be talking about it on the September 12th study session. You're all, of course, welcome to tune in. I know you have nothing better to do on Tuesday night. And so, as you may know, there are likely to be several ballot issues that are on the ballot this year. Those ballot issues would aim to continue some taxes and possibly raise some taxes. When we prepare the budget, we make the assumption that those tax measures will not pass. And so the budget this year makes that assumption, and so we don't include those revenues in our projected update to the council. So another thing that we're seeing is in monitoring the economy, we're seeing a slowing sales and use tax revenue. So that's mostly coming from construction use tax, which is really down this year. You see a lot of construction around town, right? But we get the dollars for that construction use tax when people pay their building permits. And that all happened in 2015 or 2016. So we're seeing our revenues kind of even out a little bit and possibly even go below what our projections were. So what we're recommending for the budget for 2018 is a pretty fiscally conservative budget. We've been having a practice, especially since the flood, of keeping our reserves at a level that will protect us in time of danger. And so we're projecting 18% reserves for 2018. And this goes along with kind of a little mantra that we have, which is 20% by 2020. So each year we're trying to increase the reserves about 1% so that we'll have really sufficient reserves in the case of a disaster coming in the future. But we think that the budget is really a good one this year. There will be some increases in different parts of the city, so hopefully you'll all be interested in seeing that. And of course, you are welcome to look at the budget and watch on September 12th when we present it to the City Council. Finally, I just want to thank everyone in our organization that's been working on the budget this year. Certainly, we've had all of our finance people across the whole organization really working hard to make it happen, department directors, but also many of you have been contributing to it, recommending ways in which we can improve our services, be more innovative, and so I really thank you for all of that. So on to the ballot items. First of all, we've got several council members that are up for election. Every other year, 5 members of the council are up for election. The top 4 vote getters get a 4-year term, and the 5th vote getter gets a 2-year term. We already know that 2 of our current council members will not be running again. One of them is Matt Applebaum, who's term limited, and the other is Andrew Shoemaker, who's chosen not to run. So for sure, we're getting 2 new council members coming up. We also are projecting, we won't know till September 5th, that there'll be a couple of ballot measures on the ballot this year. Among them would be, one ballot measure would increase the municipal utility occupation tax. This is a tax that our residents pay on their electric bill and support our efforts at pursuing the possibility of municipalization. The dollars that we get from that go to lawyers, to engineers, and to a few staff people in the organization. So we don't know if that will pass or not, but it's likely to be on the ballot. And then the second measure is one that's, I think, a little more exciting for city employees. It would be the extension of the community culture and safety tax. Most of you that are in the audience today certainly pass by the civic area and you see all the construction going on out there. That tax currently supports that work as well as a few other projects around the city. If it's extended, the City Council would be able to support more city infrastructure projects, and they have a list of them, as well as a few nonprofits in our city. So there could be a couple of really exciting things going on in the event that those pass. So if you have So one last thing I need to say, is that as city employees, we are bound by a state law called the Fair Campaign Practices Act that tells us that while we're acting in our roles as city employees, we cannot advocate for or against ballot measures. So while you're on duty, while you're wearing a uniform, while you're using any piece of city equipment, you really cannot express an opinion about the ballot measures. Certainly off duty, you have First Amendment rights and are welcome to do that, but don't be using your city equipment or phones to do so. The city attorney's office sends out a message every year to remind us of our duties, and that will be coming out shortly. So our last big announcement is something that I hope some of you know about, which is that we have a new assistant city manager, our pal Chris Meschuk, who's sitting in he was supposed to be in the front row. It says right here that you're in the front row, but no, he's in the second row. And we were thinking that maybe we'd come up, we'd bring Chris up and have him talk about what he's doing, but we decided, let's not. Let's do a video instead.
My name is Chris Meschuk. I'm an assistant city manager, and I work for the city of Boulder. As an assistant city manager, I work with folks all over the organization. I do a little bit of program work, a little bit of policy work, some project work, and I get to have a lot of fun. I have a stack of cards here in front of me with questions that I am going to rapid fire answer, and I have no idea what they say. I have 60 seconds. I think I'm ready. Do you have a timer for me? Perfect. In one sentence, what does an assistant city manager do? I work with cool people doing cool stuff. Star Wars or Star Trek? That one's clear. Star Wars, hands down. What do I love about Boulder? I love in Boulder that we have crazy engaged people that are super passionate about the future of this community. My go-to karaoke song, Men Without Hats Safety Dance, is a hot dog, a sandwich. A hot dog is not a sandwich unless, you know when you were a kid and your mom would cut the hot dogs in half and lay them on a piece of bread? Then it's a sandwich. Favorite word? Awesome. My deepest, darkest secret? I'm gonna pass. Tidy desk or messy desk? Totally messy desk. Best thing to eat in Boulder. Number 13, no soup, 2 egg rolls. My most memorable career moment so far. Doing flood recovery for the city and having the opportunity to help families who were displaced from their houses. Name a movie you've seen at least 5 times. Gone in 60 seconds. Those were good. Did I do okay?
Yay, thanks, Chris. We're so happy to have you here. Yay.
We are happy, and honestly, I held my breath with your answers of Star Trek or Star Wars. So personally, I'm happy of your answer. So let's switch gears a little bit and focus on employee engagement. This last month, many of us have participated in taking the employee engagement survey, and I'm really eager to hear more about our results, and I know others in the audience are as well. So with us today is Linda Rod from HR Organizational Development to tell us more.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm happy to be here and really happy to talk about employee engagement and some of the high-level results that we've seen so far. First of all, just want to share appreciation to everybody for taking the survey. Your feedback means so much to the city in helping drive the type of culture that we want. And so we had really strong survey participation. We had almost 1,000 city employees take the survey, which is incredible and is up from last year. So we want to look at the feedback on an organizational level. Right now, our consultant is still looking at the department data, so that information will be forthcoming, but we do have some news to share with you. So we've improved in many areas in the focus areas that we looked at. Overall, our engagement index is steady, but there are several areas that I want to point out that we've really made significant improvement. Those areas include our department leadership, the belief and support that our department leaders are some of the best out there, and that showed up in the results. Also, our own employees' leadership. We saw significant improvement, that the belief that the city supports employee leadership throughout the organization. So that was really important to us. And then our core values. Our core values are really about how we demonstrate to each other how we do our work every day, not just with each other, but with our community. And then the support by supervisors, so thank you to supervisors, for really supporting employees doing well-being activities and events across the city. And then the ability to be creative in the work we do and really being willing to take risks. So those things were all significant, and actually overall, none of the results organization-wide decreased. So that was really good news. The other thing is we had 10 departments that participated with 80 to 100% of their employees completing the survey. So we're overall really happy about the organizational results. And just to speak a little bit more to that, let's look at our core values. So as you can see here, our core values are really important to us here at the city. And overall, they significantly and statistically went up. Anything that is 4 points or more that goes up is significant. And so we saw the way we demonstrate our city values go up across the city. And all areas went up from 2016, or I think we had one area that held steady.
This is excellent news, Linda, and a lot of information, so it's great to hear that on a department level we'll have time in the future to dive a little deeper. So can we just talk a little bit about what we've done, looking at our survey results last year, and what opportunities lie ahead?
Awesome. We definitely can, and you know what? If many of you have attended the different leadership forums that we did over the last 12 months, we had hundreds and hundreds of employees attend those. And so rolling out the leadership philosophy, we see departments and teams starting to take that seriously. We see, even through the forums, that employees develop their own action plan for leadership. And a lot of people throughout the organization have been starting to really take those results and look at leadership from a very different perspective. In addition to that, we've had teams who've been working and departments who've been working on the customer experience. They've also been working on innovation and process improvement.
That's a great overview. So what can employees expect next?
Well, you can expect more. So we're going to be offering more leadership opportunities, more employee development opportunities across the city, and we want to continue to hear your feedback so that we can make these programs really meaningful for our employees. In addition to that, we're going to be providing more information over the next month and a half citywide, and then departments will be receiving their information mid-September, and then starting in mid-September through October, you'll be getting more information about your own department results.
Thank you so much, Linda, and thank you so much to all the employees who have taken the time to fill out the survey. Your feedback and input is what really drives the improvements and opportunities ahead.
That's awesome. And I forgot one thing. Can I say it? You know, we heard some feedback this last year about what about confidentiality? And is a feedback confidential? And I can tell you that absolutely HR and management have no ability to see individual results. And so that's been really important to us, to the integrity of this feedback. And we're going to just continue to use the feedback to drive additional engagement and really make the culture that we all want to have here, one of inclusion and one of high engagement in public service. So thank you.
Yes, thanks for highlighting that. And actually, the department directors had just talked about that this last week as a reminder to employees. So thanks for highlighting. Thanks. So now let's take a moment and let's shift gears into the employee news update.
Hello, and welcome to the City of Boulder Employee News Update. I'm your host, Annie Zaruba. We're more than halfway through the year so far, and it's been pretty eventful. Here's a roundup of some of the amazing things people are talking about this summer. In March, we announced a new paid parental leave policy. Eligible employees, regardless of their gender, can now receive up to 12 weeks of full paid leave after the birth or adoption of a child. It's part of the city's commitment to diversity, health, and well-being. And for one employee, the timing was almost too good to believe. Here's Andrea Lewis from Public Works to share how she spent time off with her amazing new son, Haven.
My name's Andrea Lewis, and I am an administrative supervisor for Public Works, and we support the engineers and all the employees throughout Public Works. After you have a baby, there's a need for downtime. There's just a need to spend time at home with your child and nurture each other and bond. I can't imagine leaving my child to return to work. There's so much that happens in the early stages of a baby's life, especially in the first few weeks to few months, that you don't want to miss. And having the leave policy in place really enabled our family to have that bonding experience that we wanted. My family was able to go back east, and we spent 3 weeks on a road trip. We flew back to Virginia Beach and traveled all the way up to Rhode Island. It was an awesome experience that we had that time with our family, which we don't normally get. So I was amazed that my team came together in a way that made it possible for me to leave for 3 months. They really stepped up, and at every level they showed me their best selves while I was gone, and I'm really grateful for them. It's such a blessing that the City of Boulder made this a priority for families. We are leaders for the community and really for the world, for municipalities, and people come to us as a model, and we really want to be modeling that we prioritize our families and that balance of family to work life. Employees are people, and I really appreciate working for an organization that prioritizes families.
Did you know the city offers up to $3,500 per year in tuition reimbursement for standard full-time employees? Well, starting in 2016, the city began to offer tuition reimbursement as an added benefit for employees. Courses need to be applicable to an established degree or certification plan and taken through an accredited college or university. Recently, Jeff Long and John Nunez from our fire department took advantage of this wonderful benefit. Take a look.
You've reached the limit. Sorry, I was talking.
Yeah,
I won't talk while you do it.
You go first.
Okay. No, you go.
I'm Jeff. Come on,
All right, I'm ready. All right, ready. Have fun. John Nunez. I received my master's degree in John Nunez. Let me try this. John Nunez. I received my master's degree in management from American Public University.
I'm Jeff Long. I received my bachelor's degree in fire administration from Columbia Southern University.
I saw an email like, here are some things that are on the horizon, and that one caught my eye. I saw tuition reimbursement, and it has been something I think that a lot of people have been looking for. And so when I saw it, it was almost too good to be true. And then I saw the amount, and I'm like, that's about 3 classes a year that the city's gonna pay for. I submitted it, and still going, they're not going to really reimburse me for all of this class. They did. It was awesome. Jeff encouraged me to just keep going, and I've then pursued my master's degree at American Public University.
I was watching John go to school and go through all of that, and I'm like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And it was fantastic. It changed my whole paradigm. And rather than worrying about how I'm going to repay this home equity loan, I had, all I had to do was just put the money up front, and then I got reimbursed as soon as the class was over. And it was also a good incentive to keep the grades up. So we just kind of rolled into that, and it's been good. One of the skills that you develop through this is everybody knows, is you've got this huge volume of information, and now through repetition, we've been able to distill, read through all of this large amount of information, so it's improved our reading and writing skills, and it's great. It's been great for the job.
I know as I sought input from people who've preceded me and promoted through the ranks, every one of them encouraged me to pursue my education. Personally, I would say if it's your goal, if it's a personal goal, do it. Don't regret. You'll always regret never going back. And I'm pretty happy that I continued to pursue that.
Even if you're just thinking about it, I would recommend doing it. Don't waste. I wasted so many years finding excuses to not do it. And if you're looking for excuses to not go back to school, they're easy to find. They're all over the place. Just make the commitment, step off that cliff, and enjoy the ride. I mean, it's awesome. It's a soft landing at the bottom.
If you've been paying close attention, you may have picked up on a few recent changes in our IT department. It's all part of the team's effort to improve customer engagement and deliver better services to employees like you and me. Here's a peek at what's been happening behind the scenes.
Welcome back, Agent Wright. We have a new assignment for you.
What is it?
We're combining the help desk and tech training to create a true IT service desk, a hub for employees across the city to share knowledge and develop professional tech skills. And that means you're getting a brand new team. These team members bring expert tech skills to the service desk to solve issues faster, track data and metrics to fix problems before they start, and they're 57% friendlier.
Agent S. Real name, Sean Havens. Title, System Administrator 2 and IT Service Desk. Skills, expert in translation and electronic communication, veteran agent. Agent L. Real name, Logan Priest. Title, IT Training Specialist. Skills, expert in new agent training and adapting to new technologies. Does not require sleep. Agent K. Real name, Kellen Harris. Title, System Administrator 1 and IT Service Desk. Skills, PowerShell scripting using a computer, creating needlessly complicated descriptions for simple concepts.
I've got this.
That's it for this edition of the Employee News Update. And as always, if there's something you want us to share in our newsletter, online, or at our next all-staff meeting, email us at employeenews1@bouldercolorado.gov. Thanks again for watching.
Those were great videos. And I do have to say, I do see Sarah Wright in the audience, and for some reason she put on her glasses during the IT video. So staying in character, well done. So let's move on to diversity and inclusion, and I'm really happy to welcome our new Chief Diversity Officer, Renata Robinson. Renata, you've only been on the job for a few weeks, so can you take this opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today. So a little bit about my background is I have built a lot of human resource programs, even in diversity and inclusion, and the exciting news is they are sustained. So their organizations still have those programs going. It's kind of why I'm here today. And I did exactly what our firefighters said. I took advantage. I went to school. I have a master's degree and a doctorate degree in organizational management, but Boulder didn't pay for it. I'm still paying. With that said, formerly I was a vice president at Teach for America and leading human resource. Prior to that, the director of organizational development, talent management, and human resources at Total Long-Term Care. So a little bit about my background. I'm really excited to be here. I believe the community is amazing here in Boulder, and this is a fantastic time to be here.
Well, great. And like I said, we're very happy to have you. And we know we want to let you start to get your feet underneath you and build relationships within the organization. And I know that one of the key pieces that you're going to be focusing on is building a strategy. So can you maybe share what diversity and inclusion means to you and what we may see on the horizon?
Absolutely. Basically, what we're talking about is creating an environment that's inclusive to different perspectives, different backgrounds, experiences to everyone that's involved. Coming to the table, having a voice. If you're coming to our community to live here, visit, or you work here, we want you to feel welcomed in the process. So that's basically diversity and inclusion in a nutshell. So what I'm doing right now is I'm assessing the organization specifically in diversity and inclusion, finding out, hey, how can we work towards this goal? How can we meet this goal? Meeting with community stakeholders, people that are in the community that are like, hey, I want to be a part of that. If you want to, let me know, help me out, because I can't do this by myself. Internally, externally, those are the things that I'm doing. And then eventually I'll build a diversity and inclusion strategy, a plan, and then work towards implementing it. But in the meantime, it's a lot of work, but it's fun and it's going to be exciting.
So can we take some time and just talk a little more about the strategies, what they evolve around, and what it could mean to employees?
Absolutely. So there's 3 strategies that come off the top of my head that are very critical. Number 1 is recruitment. Number 2 is retaining our employees, and then also educational awareness. So when I talk about educational awareness, what I mean is we have one-on-one diversity, we have diversity leadership, we have civil treatment, which is a training I was certified in last week that I'll be bringing. We have the IDI, which is inter-development culture, so basically kind of something that we'll bring to the table that people can use to find out their own thoughts and processes relates to diversity. And then when it comes to recruitment, right now we have a low unemployment rate, which is terrific. But what we want to do is make sure we're hiring people that have diverse perspectives and backgrounds and experiences than what we already have in place. So we want to make sure we're leveraging those skill sets and hiring there. And then from a retention standpoint, it's obvious that Boulder employees rock. You know, we took the engagement survey. We want to make sure you stay. We want you to be excited to be here. We want you to be inclusive in thought. We want to make sure that is something that you see and you want to be a part of. So we want to make sure we retain great employees. With all that said, I need your help. So when I say help me, let me know if you want to help. I'm on board. I need you on board. I need champions.
Thank you so much, Renata, for sharing a little bit about yourself and your passion for diversity and inclusion. And sign me up. I'm ready to help, and I know many of our employees are ready to help as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks. So now we will switch to one of our favorite segments of all staff, and that is On the Job. It has been away, and now, as Jane said, it is back and with a spin. So tell us what you think.
My name is Gabriel Ortiz. I'm a building inspector for the City of Boulder. Us as building inspectors, we go to houses or large commercial jobs, check various aspects of code, building code. We just verify a lot of what's going on, and we're just that second eyes on the project, making sure everything is built as was approved. It could seem like we just go into a building and, oh yeah, water's running, and oh, there's electrical there. There's so much more to it. There's a lot of dimensions when it comes to ADA compliance, which is accessibility. Somebody coming in with a wheelchair, you know, you want to safely get them to even a sink. They have to have a certain amount of clearance for their feet. When they roll in, the sink can only be so high. Electrical sockets, that's something that we have a plug tester for. It just tells us if it's wired correctly. If not, it'll light up differently, and it'll say open ground or no neutral, or you know, it'll just tell us if it's wired correctly. When we go out on inspection, you know, we try to head things up before there may be a problem, whether it be a bathroom not having the ADA requirements, or you know, it's looking kind of tight, and you let them know, hey, make sure you're measuring as your plans are to have that minimum clearance. Or an electrical panel, you know, just you have to have a certain clearance in front of it and on the sides. So just giving a heads up to the contractor as construction is going, and they're pretty grateful for that. I really like the challenges. No day is the same. There's a new challenge every day. I mean, so it never gets boring. And just the helping out, just being part of the community and helping to build a community, just to be part of it is pretty amazing.
Thank you, Gabriel, and thanks to all of our building inspectors. This is not an easy job, and I think Gabriel talked a little bit about all of the technical details they need to know. There's a lot to the job, and our residents and our commercial residents rely on them to make us all safe. So now we have some, I think it's going to be pretty good news coming up here. We're less than 6 weeks away from our annual open enrollment, and I think you're all wondering about our 2018 benefits. So let me welcome Marcy Keenman and Ashley Tracy, both from Human Resources, and they're going to give us an update and talk to us a little bit about benefits and well-being. So let's start out with Marcy. You've been in the city for a while, eh?
I have. I've been here for 17 years, and I'm currently the senior HR benefits
So
specialist.
you've seen benefits come and benefits go, right?
have,
Yeah.
yes, I have.
So what can we expect with our 2018 benefits?
Overall, we've been very happy with Cigna and Delta Dental, and there's no significant changes to our medical and dental providers for 2018. But as everyone knows all too well, healthcare costs are continuing to rise. Cigna initially proposed a 10.4% increase in premiums for 2018. We were able to negotiate with Cigna quite a bit, and after a lot of discussion, we agreed to a 0% increase in premiums for 2018. Also, Delta came back with a double-digit increase to both dental plans for 2018. We were able to also negotiate and even included an added benefit of dental implants for the high plan. So ultimately, we agreed to an average increase of 5%. This basically equates to approximately $1 to $2 premium increase for full-time employees per month. The inclusion of the dental implants has been a popular request.
Thank you, Marcy, so much. And thanks to all of you from HR that really worked so hard. We have a benefits team, and those guys negotiated really tough this year, so we really appreciate that. So tell us how the city was able to keep the prices down, particularly since nationwide the average increases are double digits.
Yeah, a large part is actually due to our employees and their families who've been doing their research and becoming better consumers for the plans. Cigna does a lot to negotiate for better rates with the providers, and when our employees shop around for their medical needs, not only does it minimize their out-of-pocket costs, it also benefits the plan itself, these cost savings, and it definitely helps during the renewal process. We've also go to bat for our employees as often as we can. It's important for us to do whatever we can to help keep things affordable and review the plans and to minimize how much is out of pocket.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks to all of you for being great consumers. You really helped all of us to keep those premiums really low. So are the plans staying exactly as they were?
The existing plan structure will stay the same. But we do have a new option as well. Employees can still opt for the $500, the $1,000, the $1,500 deductible plan. The $1,500 plan has the lowest, or has the greatest out-of-pocket annual costs with the lowest premiums, and the option to participate in the HSA. In 2018, we will also offer a fourth plan. It's a $5,000 deductible plan that is also eligible for the HSA. This will allow affordable health care for all of our employees, including eligible non-standard employees. It also will be attractive to employees that are in good health and may want to keep their premiums low. We'll have resources available to employees to help them make the right best plan option for them.
Great. Well, so we're all trying to control our health care costs, whether we have a family or just a single. What do you recommend that we do to keep those costs low?
Well, so the healthcare field has been changing significantly over the past decade, and it's incumbent on all of us to do our research and to make smart decisions. Standalone ERs have been appearing everywhere, and we've probably all heard stories on the news about people receiving $5,000 bills for something they thought was covered. We can all avoid these scenarios if they go online, make a few calls first ahead of time, maybe even sometimes driving an additional 15 minutes to a convenience care clinic. You can get treatment or get a prescription in less than an hour for no more cost than what your copay would be, or even less than perhaps what your coinsurance would be at other medical facilities. Also, if we need something like a CT scan, a lot of us go to a place that is the most convenient hours or location, and checking with Cigna first and then calling around to price shop can actually save hundreds of dollars that we'd actually have to pay out of pocket. Sometimes there are even incentives that are through Cigna that are money back for getting physical exams and proactively managing our health.
It seems like there's lots of options, and sometimes it can become confusing. Where do you suggest that employees start if they need some help?
So there's actually quite a lot of resources out there through both Cigna and Aon, both online and by phone, and that can help guide you through pretty much any type of scenario. Often we can get help to understand and make informed decisions about our health issues, or even navigating your options through a service called advocacy through no extra cost. With MD Live telehealth, you can even get a prescription or treatment from a doctor via teleconference without even leaving your home. So aside from Cigna and from Aon, there are other useful resources available to employees. This includes our employee assistance programs, Transamerica, Legalese, and our flexible spending accounts. And we strongly suggest and encourage employees to go to our benefits webpage during open enrollment to help review some of these supplemental plans that you may want to enroll in for 2018.
Great, and come to the health benefits fair, right? The big fair that we're going to have in October, because you'll get lots of great information there. So let's turn to Ashley. Ashley is our new well-being coordinator. Can you tell us how well-being is more than just healthcare benefits?
Absolutely. We view well-being as having 8 dimensions, and that includes financial, environmental, physical, career, spiritual, social, emotional, and intellectual. So it's much broader than just physical fitness. And with the Wellbeing at Work program, we aim to provide resources so that employees can proactively manage each dimension and reduce their potential risk for any health issues developing in the future. For example, about 92 million American adults currently are living with some form of cardiovascular disease. And to manage that, it costs about $19,000 per year. So we really want to provide the resources so that employees can reduce their medical care costs and live happier, healthier, and more productive lives.
So we've had some great well-being programs this year. What can we expect for next year?
Well, we'll continue working with what's been successful in the past, such as our challenges. This year, we've had over 500 employees participate in our Active Fit, in our Freeze the Gain Challenge. Here you see the City Attorney's Office, our 2018 Active Fit champions. We'll also be providing programs beyond that. We just completed a survey for all of our employees to complete, and we really came up with some great insights to enhance our programs and reach a broader portion of our staff. Also, we'll be doing self-paced programs, as well as we'll be implementing Wellbeing Wednesdays, because we want consistency. So each week, we'll be focusing on a different dimension of well-being. And like I said, with the self-paced programs, if you're not able to come on site to those, we'll also be offering them for you to complete at your own pace. And we will be continuing to offer programs such as our Weight Watchers program, which we just started this year, and we're offering that at 2 locations with 40 different employees right now taking advantage of that. So we really want to have more programs that offer that emotional support for employees to succeed. And finally, we'll also be, and we're currently negotiating with employee discount programs with various companies throughout Boulder and also outside of the city of Boulder.
I love discounts. How can employees stay in the loop to find out more?
Well, you can always go on Boulder at Work, where we have it always up to date, as well as Be Connected. And we recently just launched the Be Well blog, which is on Boulder at Work. So that has really great resources, as well as your information for your wellness champions for your department.
So we've got a couple of next steps and some important dates coming up. Can each of you tell us what's coming up for you, Marcy and Ashley?
Well, starting September 22nd, our biometric screenings begin, and you all will be receiving postcards in the mail this week with the dates and how to sign up. So we definitely encourage you to sign up as soon as possible, as well as sign up your spouses and partners.
And the open enrollment actually begins on October 3rd, and this is also the day of the annual Wellbeing Fair. And representatives from all of our different vendors and providers will be at the fair to help answer questions. Then open enrollment ends on the 26th, which also is the date that all biometrics and health risk assessments need to be completed by in order for employees to receive the free Rec Center Pass and the wellness credit. We also have 2 additional retirement plan seminars that are coming up through ICMA, and those are on September 11th and December 18th.
Well, thanks to both of you, Marcy and Ashley, for giving us great good news about 2018 benefits and our well-being program. We don't always get great news, so yay, thanks for it this year.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So a new feature that we are trying to start with our all-staff meetings is an employee shout-out. And so this time we have a shout-out to lots of employees who worked across the organization in a wonderful collaboration. So after honestly decades of planning, negotiating, and extensive community engagement, the Division of Housing recently celebrated a really wonderful event. They purchased the Ponderosa Mobile Home Park. It's located in North Boulder. This was a park that was substantially affected in a negative way by the 2013 flood. It's actually not inside the city, but it's surrounded by the city. And the homes are old there and the infrastructure is weak. And so the city residents there, or the residents there, don't receive city services, and they really, really need help from the city of Boulder. So after the flood, a team of people got together and were able to secure funding and also do a huge community outreach effort to this community. And just recently, we were able to purchase that property for $4.2 million, and much of it was due to the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief Program that our employees were able to effectuate to be able to purchase this property. So this is really going to make a difference for the community. It's going to make it more sustainable. It's going to make it safer and healthier for those residents. We're really excited about it.
Yes, and we want to highlight this project because it really highlights collaboration and what can happen when employees work in cross-departmental relationships and work closely with our community partners as well. This project also highlights that our work is a marathon and it's not a sprint. And it can take years of planning to get to the finish line. So with that, we will highlight some of the individuals who have been involved in this project. We wouldn't be where we are at today without Chris Meschek's skilled execution of the West 4 Mile Canyon Grant, which began actually in late 2014 and completed in early 26. This occurred when Chris was in long-range planning, and he oversaw the scope of work that built trust and communication with Ponderosa owners and residents. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't that trust and communication that was established from the start of this project. Informed by the values identified under the Resilience Planning Grant that I just spoke about, Kurt Fernhaber with the Division of Housing led the effort to identify a viable path to stabilize the Ponderosa community that staff across the city has supported. Kristen Heiser and Krista Launder, both of the Division of Housing, were co-project managers and champions of this endeavor. Kristen coordinated all elements of the purchase, and together they kept the community informed. So once again, working in partnership with our community. Leading up to the purchase, they often found themselves at Mobile Home Park during the evenings and weekends, and sometimes in some of the residents' homes, also talking with them about this project. From the City Attorney's Office, Aaron Poe, Doug Newcomb, Julia Chase, Rhea Ward, this team provided expert guidance in navigating the choppy waters and uncertainty at times of federal funding, negotiated with the seller, and ensured all due diligence was addressed and brought the deal to final terms of the agreement.
And Joel Wagner in the finance department was a key link in accessing the federal grant funding, which is hard to get. And the Division of Housing, Shelley Conley, Kate Massengal, and Melissa Weber ensured that the federal requirements were met, also not so easy. Thanks to Joanna Paradiso, Ann Penny, Ron Gilbert, and Francis Holland from Planning, Housing, and Sustainability, who met some deadlines that we needed to meet in order to get that grant. Our Chief Resilience Officer, Greg Guibert, enlisted an organization called Rebuild by Design to resource this effort, and that's going to allow the full exploration of resilient solutions at Ponderosa. While we celebrate the purchase of Ponderosa today, we know that there's a lot of work that lies ahead for this team to build on the work that they already started. The thing that really resonates with me, and I saw it when we talked about Chris, is that the 2013 flood really impacted these people in ways that are so devastating. And for our organization, all these people that we named, to make a difference in their lives and turn what could have been a terrible, which was a terrible situation, into a real positive and hope for the future, keeping them in our community is just huge. And I think we can all be proud of that. So thank you to all of you for your great leadership.
And we know that this was just one story of the many stories that each of you are involved with each and every day. So we do want to take this opportunity to thank you for your continued commitment to the City of Boulder and our residents. So with that, we're at the end of our agenda, so we really appreciate you taking the time and spending it with us this afternoon. Very shortly, the video will be up at Boulder at Work, but we do have a couple requests before we go. So also, shortly within this week, there will be a survey that will be sent out. Please give us your thoughts and feedback so that we can continue to make all staff meaningful to each of you.
And very importantly, a week from today, the nominations close for our City Values Awards. Please send in some Values Awards. You heard a great collaboration story today, but there's many, many stories out there. Customer service here is amazing. Respect, integrity, innovation. I know you've got some great colleagues that you want to nominate, so please get that done in the next week. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day and great weekend to come. Thanks.